Hey guys, my name is Palash, and I am starting the recording of my speaking to increase my flow in speaking and to get more comfortable with speaking and basically reduce my fear of public speaking in general. So today I'm going to talk about a book that I'm reading currently. It's called A Dance with Dragons by George R. R. Martin. And I think most of you will be aware about this book because everybody has seen uh, Game of Thrones, and it was pretty much clear in the titles that it was based on this series of books called A Game of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. So this is the fifth book in that series, A Dance with Dragons. This is actually the first part of Dance with Dragons. The books, uh, A Song of Ice and Fire, they are so big that two of those had to be split. The third book, A Storm of Swords, and the fifth book, A Dance with Dragons, had to be split into two parts each. So technically there are five books, but in reality there are seven books in the box. I got the books the day Game of Thrones ended, and we all were disappointed by the ending. And that day, I decided that I'll get the books, as I had heard from people that there is, a little bit story deviation, and like some things are changed. So I thought I got curious that what could be different, and I loved the show so much. I was a bit disappointed with the ending as well, so I thought that I would give it a read. Uh, so uh, when I first started reading this series, the story was pretty much the same. It was going the same way, same flow. But as I moved on in the series, I saw details being changed and even characters being introduced and more characters being there in the plots. So, uh, yeah, it's definitely something new for the fans of the series, and it is also something for, you know, in general, readers who want to read high quality, high fantasy novels, because this book here is an experience. So, uh, let me talk about how the books, how what story are we following in this book. So, as many of you would be aware about the characters, so I won't go into details. So, this book basically follows the story of characters from the George R. R. Martin tells the story of characters from their point of view. So it tells about the story of Tyrion Lannister and his journey through the free cities of Essos from Westeros, and the challenges he faces there, why he is making that journey, and how he is following through this journey, why he has to be hiding his true identity, these sorts of things. And there are a few surprises there for irregular fans in this journey of Tyrion. Uh, who might have seen the series but not seen the books, not read the books, and uh, Jon Snow, another favorite character, as the fans of the series would know. So he has some new responsibilities here in this particular story as the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and he's facing different challenges with the wildlings and with the uh, King Stannis Baratheon, at his castle, looking for help and uh, looking for help through any means, like for wars and for supplies and everything. And he is facing Jon Snow here is facing a supply crisis himself on the wall. So this story is about those challenges. And then the story about uh, other characters inside Westeros, the problems due to war, the problems, the political issues raised due to kings being corrupt and kings being incompetent, child kings or child queens leading, while actual people in power are someone else, and they are pulling the strings basically. So this book basically talks about those struggles. There are some rebels as well, uh, who are trying to gain their own identity amidst all the chaos. So that's what the story follows. And what I really like about George R. R. Martin's writing is that he paints an amazing picture of the scene. And even though it is such a fat book, and there are very long chapters, long paragraphs to read, but still you don't feel like that the flow is breaking, and you can actually imagine the things and you can see the things going on in front of your eyes, because he gives so much uh, importance to the fine details and adds them wherever required. He has included gory details as well, in many places. So definitely not a book for children, but a great read for someone who is into high fantasy, uh, who is a fan of Game of Thrones. There are also maps in here of the world that he has built. And you can actually, like, sometimes I do that I read about an event happening and I go back to the map and I see that what actually the picture looks like. So it really is an experience of its own to read this book. So yeah, if you are into high fantasy, or you love Game of Thrones, you can definitely pick up these series and give them a try. Thanks.